Hello everybody, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. My name is Alana, and here at Classy on the Run, we love to talk about beautiful, luxurious things that the everyday woman, whether she's a student, whether she is a young professional, whether she's more experienced in her career, can enjoy, and to just help them look and feel polished and their best while they're living their busy life. So today I want to talk about my 5 top picks for an everyday palette. Now, I have a repulsive amount of eyeshadow palettes and nobody needs that many. So what I really just wanted to do was sort of go through my collection and pull out the 5 that really stand out to me, that if you wanted to have one eyeshadow palette that could take you from day to night, that you could wear to work every day, that you could find a variety of looks in, and still feel beautiful and polished, things that sort of match my style. I describe my style as sort of an everyday glam, just something pretty and soft and sparkly and probably gold or rose gold or a little bronzy. It's got lots of neutrals that would look great with a winged liner and mascara like this beautifulness today. Anyways, I wanted to talk about palettes that sort of fit that description. I want to just put a disclaimer that these are not necessarily my favorite eyeshadow palettes. In terms of favorites, my favorite palettes would definitely include more Charlotte Tilbury, but she does a lot of quads, and those just don't really fit the palette theme we're talking about today. And I would also say that there are some other palettes I like where I really like a couple of the colors, but these ones that I want to talk about today are just overall really great palettes. So let's dig into it. And I really tried to have a variety of price points. And then the last one I think you're going to find kind of fun. So I wanted to kick it off with ColourPop palettes. Now I couldn't decide between Double Entendre and Give It To Me Straight. So you really only need one of these. Double Entendre, lots of neutrals, some browns, shimmers. It's a little more cool toned. It's very, very pretty. You've got like a shimmery rose gold, you've got like a nice shimmery taupe, very pretty. Give It To Me Straight is actually the eyeshadow palette I'm wearing today. That one is a lot more rose gold, a lot warmer, a lot more pink. They're both beautiful. I think they've got a great match. I think they have a great mix of mattes and shimmers. I think that you could get a variety of looks from these for day to night. I think that they're not too intimidating to start off with. I love their formula. And I'm going to leave all the prices down below because off the top of my head I can't remember. But these are probably about 20 bucks, which is pretty great because you get 12 eyeshadows. So next up is a palette I have had 3 renditions of. I had this when it came in the cardboard packaging. I have it in the metal packaging in my eyeshadow drawer. And I have it in the new plastic packaging. And that is the Natural Eyes palette by Too Faced. As you can see, just natural shades. You've got Heaven, Silk Teddy, Strip Poker. It used to have a much more sparkly color. They've definitely updated the palette as we go. I love that it has a big mirror on it. I think that's great. You've got, what's really great about this eyeshadow palette for beginners is you basically just pick a row. So you can, and you can totally mix it up, like, but if you're a beginner, you would just say put that all over your lid, that in the crease, and then that in the corner. And you can just do that all the way down the palette for 3 distinct looks, which I really appreciate the layout. I think it's very well done. And it's very pretty, it's good quality, it blends well. It has that nice mix of mattes and shimmers. I do just want to throw out an honorable mention to the Smashbox Double Exposure palette. I'll put it here. My mom has that one. I picked it for her. And again, top row is mattes, I believe, bottom row is shimmers. Could be the other way around. But a great mix of shades, and for her, she again is a little bit more of a beginner with makeup. I don't have that palette, so it's not on my list, but I did help her pick that one, and she's used it, she's loved it, and that is a really great palette to also consider. Next up, we have one of my all-time favorite palettes, and that is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I recommend this palette all the time. 1, it smells like chocolate. 2, it has some beautiful shimmers, it has some mattes, it has little pops of color that I never use in this palette, but I love this one, and 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 this one. Yeah. As you can see, this palette is dirty because I use it a lot. And I think this one is just a really great palette. Again, you can't go wrong with it. You're not going to be able to mess up the look. It's easy to use, not as easy to use as Natural Eyes, but just easy to use and beautiful. Next up we have the Tarte In Bloom palette. Again, a nice big mirror, which bonus points in my book. And again, a beautiful mix of mattes and shimmers. And the other thing I really love about the palette is a lot of eyeshadow and makeup companies, I mean eyeshadow is makeup, a lot of makeup companies get very like sexual with their names for things. And I want to read to you some of the names of these eyeshadows. Charmer, Jet Setter, Flower Child, Smarty Pants, Firecracker, Funny Girl, Sweetheart, Rebel, Leader, Activist, Smoke Show, Rocker. Like, I think they're first of all super cool. Who doesn't want to be a leader or an activist or a smarty pants or a sweetheart? Those are all great attributes. I think it's very positive. I think if you are a mom and you're looking for an eyeshadow palette for your like tween-age daughter, and you're looking for a first palette of something quality and that is pretty, like I think this is a beautiful choice, and I just think it's empowering and pretty, and who doesn't want both of those things? And again, good quality, not as many shimmers in this palette, really just Firecracker, I guess Rocker and Funny Girl, but for me, it has all the shimmers I need. I love Funny Girl, I love Firecracker, I think they're both so pretty. This one is a tiny little bit harder to blend than some of the others, but I think it's a great place to start for a lot of girls. And then next up, if you want to get a little adventurous, this was a really fun project I did. This is a custom palette I made at MAC Cosmetics. So basically you buy the large palette, you buy the insert to put the eyeshadows in, and then you just buy each individual eyeshadow. And I definitely set it up as a bit of a gradient, and as you can see, I definitely lean towards those pinks and mauves and rose golds and shimmers. But what I really liked about designing this palette, and I went into it knowing kind of what I wanted, if you went in there and you sort of described, I think, to a MAC makeup artist, and you were like, I'm looking for everyday colors, I like roses, I like golds, I like shimmers, I think that they'd be able to help guide you to create a palette that's perfect for you. Because one thing that drives me crazy with palettes, here I'm gonna pick on this one. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes by Charlotte Tilbury. But when I say this is one of my all-time favorite palettes, I really mean this is one of my all-time favorite palettes, and then this is just there. So they've got like a goldy look and a gray smoky look, and I just don't gravitate towards that. So as much as it's a beautiful palette, the whole palette isn't really useful to me. And so what I really like about making your own palette, and specifically at MAC, because you have a great quality of shadow, is you can really just get the colors that you like and that work for you, and nothing weird. The way I did this, I put this palette together in university. It was so fun. I decided that I was going to make it a year-long project. The other thing, again, the other thing that's great about it is you can sort of budget your palette over time. And obviously as a student, I was much more budget conscious. And so what I did is I picked sort of 3 colors to start. I think it was like a matte, a shimmer, and like a darker shade or something. And then every month I would just go to the MAC counter and I would just pick that next one shadow to go on my palette. So it was a really fun and creative process for me, but I do just want to include the option of making your own, because I think a lot of people don't know that you can. I'm sure a lot of makeup artists know that you can do that, but I think there's a lot of consumers who don't really know about doing this or who don't think to do this, and this is a great way to get a palette with colors you're gonna love and use. How pretty. And if you're gonna do that, you definitely need to put cork in there, just putting it out there. Yeah, so anyways, if you are interested in finding out about what eyeshadows I have in my palette, I'm going to try to leave them down below. But I did a series on my blog back when I was more writing, less talking. If you guys kind of want to follow along, please forgive the photography. It was a while ago. But anyways, those are the top 5 everyday palettes, especially great if you are starting your collection, especially great if you are maybe gifting to somebody who is starting a collection, and really great if you just want to look pretty and polished. those are the palettes that I would recommend. Again, they are not necessarily my favorite eyeshadow palettes, and they're not necessarily the ones I use the most, but they are the ones that I think would be a great place for you to start. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. Watch whatever I put around. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it in editing, but watch whatever I'm going to put around, because I'm sure it'll also be awesome. And if you like luxury and beautiful things and makeup and purses and handbags and fashion and travel, not that anyone's traveling very much right now, then please subscribe. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Mwah.